I'm Jordan. I'm Cherokee and Choctaw, and I work as the program director for Advanced Native Political Leadership, which helps to recruit, train, and support Native candidates to run for office. This is, I think, important for folks that are running any type of campaign in tribal lands or otherwise, and rural communities also face this issue, we talk about indigenizing your campaign. So, the first piece is language access. For many tribal lands, there are still folks who do not speak English as a first language. That is not something that is universal across Indian country, especially when we talk about some of the larger nations in the United States, like the Navajo Nation and Alaskan Natives and things like that. So that is first. Language access is really important. The second piece is around addressing. And so I talked a little bit about the fact that the Navajo Nation, many folks do not have USPS recognized addresses. This is a challenge. For a lot of them, when you go to register to vote on the Navajo Nation, sometimes you're going to say something like, it's usually markings, right? I live in, this house behind the post office, and it's a description of where you live, and that's how you register to vote. The challenge is that for many states around the United States, either they're deliberately trying to outlaw these types of addressing, or through administrative process through the Secretary of State, they're not recognizing these as valid addresses. We were able to map to the campaign and work with folks on the ground to map and give addresses so that we could register folks to vote. This is the type of long-term organizing that doesn't just take place in one election cycle, though. And in the midst of, the pandemic, it's not something that could just be completed in that course. So this is still an ongoing issue. And then I think the final thing that I would say is that our communities, not just on tribal lands, are relational. And so part of the when we're talking about things like we can't access, if you look in the voter file, you're not going to see Native folks. You can't just pull a list of Native folks in the voter file. It's not going to work. And so part of the challenge is how do we reach Native communities directly? One of the ways in which you do that is through leveraging our mutual support networks on the ground to actually do that. Our community is very close to each other. Find the aunties and the grandmas in the community. Find the mutual aid networks like around COVID that are actually distributing PPE equipment and all these different things. Those are the ways that you're going to access the community, and do it with their permission and with their blessing and with their voice.
Hi, I'm Katie Porter, and I represent California's 45th District and the people of Orange County. For more like this, please sign up at traindemocrats.org. Thanks so much for watching.